Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I am going to make a mailbox swag. I had one of our followers ask for me to make a mailbox cover for Memorial Day, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I always like to start out with a Christmas garland. That sounds so strange that we are in the middle of May and I am going to use a Christmas garland as my base for my mailbox swag. It's just easy. It makes it work so well, and when I go to put it on the mailbox, I can always take a piece of wire and attach it to each end and then wire it right up underneath the mailbox, depending on what style mailbox you have. So I'm going to start out with just I guess this is probably about a little less than 3 feet long. And it's just an inexpensive garland. I think it came from Walmart, and so it's very inexpensive. I also have some artificial flowers. I've got whites, reds, blues with some pretty foliage, and then I have a little bit of mesh, and this is what's going to actually cover up our Christmas garland. You're not going to be able to even tell that it's a Christmas garland unless you flip it over and see its underside. So I have some royal blue that's really pretty and some red mesh, and then we're going to make a pretty red, white, and blue bow out of some different patriotic looking ribbon. I'm going to start out by taking my mesh, and I'm going to trim this up because it's just a little ragged at the end. So I'm just going to gather it just like this and take a good pair of scissors, and I'm just going to trim that end right off, okay? I'm just going to throw that away. Then I'm going to take this roll and I'm going to roll out kind of a longer piece. I'm going to gather it in my hands, just gather it just like that. I'm going to lay it at the end of my garland, and I am just going to use the greenery of the garland and just do a good twist. And that's going to just hold my mesh in place. I'm going to do a little bit of a puff. I'm going to gather it again, make a little bit of a puff just like that, and I'm going to tie it off again with my Christmas garland. I'm going to do the same thing all the way down. Now, all of your mailbox swags are I always start mine just like this. I start them all the same way. Not necessarily with the mesh. You don't have to use mesh if you don't love mesh. I just find it's really an easy cover. It covers it really, really well. Next I'm going to come in, but you can, I always start out with the Christmas foliage. I just find it's the easiest way to do it. Next I'm going to come in with a little blue, some royal blue. This is such a pretty color. I'm going to do the same thing, just kind of gather it and make a twist tie with my greenery. I'm just going to twist it right into that garland. Kind of make a puff, and I'm going to kind of come to the side so that my red's still showing. So you can see how I've kind of got it. And then I'm going to alternate. I'm going to come on this side. And then come across. And you can fluff it to make it look. And then I'm just going to cut a tail down here at the end. You can always trim this up. So if it's too long, no worries. You can always trim it up. Okay, so there is my base. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie a pretty bow to go in the center. I'm going to set this to the side and tie a bow. Now, I am going to start out with my stars. My stars are on a burlap backing with red, white, and blue stars. They have a little bit of glitter, which is kind of fun. I'm gonna do 4 loops, 2 on each side. I'm gonna leave a bit of a streamer. I'm gonna take it, hold it between my forefinger and my thumb, and make a loop, okay? I'm gonna twist to my right. I'm gonna make a loop, twist to the left, make a loop, twist to the right, make a loop, twist to the left. Use my scissors and cut me a good streamer, okay? Next, I'm going to take another color. I think I'm going to do this stripe. It's red, burlap, and blue. And I'm just going to lay it right here on the back of that ribbon and just keep going with my loops. I'm going to do 4 loops with this one. Cut me a streamer. Next, I'm going to come in with this gingham check. It's red, white, and blue gingham check. I love this ribbon. I'm going to leave my streamers just a little longer with this ribbon. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to do 4 loops total, 2 on each side. Alright, now I'm going to take a piece of wire, forest wire. I'm going to use a full piece. I'm going to lay it right up underneath that thumb. I'm holding it there, and I'm going to bend my wire down. And I have it between these 2 fingers here. I'm going to use my pointer finger to push it tight and make a good twist. Okay? Now I'm going to take this ribbon and I'm just going to fluff it. I'm going to fluff this bow. So there is our bow. Now before I lay this bow in the center of this arrangement, this piece, I have some ribbon that says USA and it has the United States and it's a little American flag. I think that I am going to run this down the center and give us just a little bit of loop of ribbon there. So I'm going to do it exactly like I did my mesh. I'm going to take it and leave a long tail. I'm going to take part of that little Christmas greenery and I'm just twisting that I'm just twisting the ribbon right into my mesh. Leave my tails long, and I can adjust that in the end. Now I realized that I'm going to put that bow in the very center there, and so I didn't tie it down. Next I'm going to come in with this pretty bow, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to figure out where my center is. So my center is right about here, and I am going to go ahead and attach this bow into my garland. And I've just laid it on top, and I'm just going to twist this wire right underneath. And then I'm going to adjust this bow to be pretty right in the very center there. Okay? So there is, and really you could really stop here if you wanted to. You don't have to go any further if you don't want to. You can add, if you have any picks that have stars and sparkles or firecrackers or what have you, you can add those. I thought it would be pretty to add some silk flowers. So that's what I'm going to do next, is I'm going to take my artificial greenery. So I have a couple of pieces of, this is just a pick. I wonder if I have 2 of those. I don't think so. But I'm going to take this one pick and I'm going to trim off the bottom. I'm going to dip it in pan glue. So I have a large pan of pan glue here. What you see there is chips, glue chips that they're melting. I'm just dipping my stem right into that pan glue. I'm going to lift this bow a little bit and I am going to tuck this greenery right down in to that bow. So I tucked my greenery, and you can always fluff it and make it taller. It has a little bit of a wire, so it'll kind of do what you want it to. And then I'm gonna trim up some more greenery. So I have another little bush here. I may just leave it on there, just like that. I'm gonna trim up the stem. I'm gonna dip the stem into this glue. So you can see I've got it on the glue. I'm gonna lift this bow and I'm gonna tuck that greenery right down in there. And the wonderful part about this is it just kind of fluffs. So there's some greenery, okay? You can keep adding greenery if you want to, and you can stop if you want to. Next, I'm going to come in with some blue. This is kind of a line flower. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's an artificial blue. I like that the little stems are red, so it works really, really well for red, white, and blue. I'm going to take and cut those off of this stem, and I'm just going to stick them in individually. So I'm dipping it in that glue. I'm going to lift. Just tuck that right down in there. I like to try to hit that Christmas greens because it stays really well if that glue sticks in that Christmas greens. So I'm just dipping it in glue and just sticking it right into the garland. Now you can add as much or as little as you'd like. You can stop with just the ribbon if you wanted to. You can add as many flowers as you'd like. So there we go with the blue. Next I'm going to come in with some of these pretty red roses. Tuck a few of those in. So I'm just going to take my stem, dip it down in that glue, and just place it right where I want it to. Now, if you would like, you can always place your flowers and then pull them out and add some glue and put it right back where you liked it.
Oh dear. You'll be go bring you something.
Let's try that one more time.
I'll do it.
All right, here's the next one.
Well, I donated blood this morning.
All right, so there's my red. I'm going to add one more right down here, I think. So I'm going to tip this, dip it right in that glue.
They're calling me every month. Schedule an appointment. Of course, you can't do it every month, but.
All right, so there's my red, and now let's tuck in a little bit of white. I have these white daisies and white roses.
They'll take off your collar. Maybe you could tell them that. Oh yeah, they text and email and call.
Okay, so I'm just going to tuck a few of these in, and we are going to call this guy pretty.
They always have somebody.
So just dip and glue.
There's a certain shortage. I've even heard it in the news. There's a shortage, and see, this is a Memorial Day weekend coming up, and the message I got last was before holidays come, we're trying to get extra luggage on people have wrecks and things like that. So, it's an easy thing to do, and things to do. Where would you like me to go bring you somewhere?
All right, guys, there we go. I am going to go outside and I'm going to hang it on the mailbox and snap a picture so you can see what it looks like. But I thank you all so very much for coming here today. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. If you like videos like this, please be sure to subscribe to our channel right down below. And if you want to visit our other social media outlets, you can do that too. They're all listed below. Have a great day.